Hi everyone, welcome back to the Unfiltered Grad Saga, and if you're new here, welcome to the Chaos. On this channel, I share tips for IELTS, grad school admissions, scholarships, and everything in between. Basically, everything I wish someone told me when I was starting out. Today, I'm going to share everything that helped me out to score 8.5 bands in the IELTS listening module. And guess the best part is that I used only free resources. So yeah, and I'll also put the link in the description box. So let's get into it. Also, just a quick reality check. IELTS listening is not something you can master overnight. It's just a language test, and language takes time to build. So if you're starting out and your score is not where you want it to be, that's okay. It does not mean you're bad at English. It's just that you need a bit more time and practice. And please don't waste your money on courses that promise you a 9 band in listening in 2 weeks. Because no course can magically fix things without your own practice and consistency. So trust the process, be patient, and practice smart. So first things first, practice is non-negotiable. You have to practice, but practice smart. Remember, you cannot improve your listening score just by watching theory videos and reading a lot of books. So you have to basically sit down, focus, and take proper mock tests. Personally, I practice using online mock tests. I'll put the link in the description box. There are a lot of practice tests available on this website, and that too completely for free. I took these mock tests every day for about 2-3 weeks, and after each test I tried to identify the pattern and the mistakes I was making. Like when you're practicing, you will start to notice that you are repeating the same mistakes in the same section. Like for me, it was maps section. I was really struggling with maps. So yeah, practicing not only helps you get familiar with the types of questions you will see in the exam, but it also helps you spot those repeating mistakes, so you can actually work on and improve that specific section. Because you don't want to only practice every day, you want to improve the scores. So you have to see and identify the mistakes that you're making and ultimately work on that. I would like to add one more thing. Although this website is really good, but on this one you cannot exactly get the computer-based experience. Although for listening module, there is not a big difference between the paper-based or computer-based IELTS. But experience is quite different, so it's better you also practice. If you're going for computer-based tests, then practice from this website, but also practice the computer-based format. For that, you can actually go to IDP's official website. They have some good practice materials for computer-based tests. Basically, the whole purpose is just to get familiar with the format, So I used IDP's official website to practice a bit as well, and it really helped me get comfortable with the layout and timing. Other than this, you can also practice it on British Council IELTS website, and they also offer a free practice section which is specifically for computer-based IELTS. Both of these websites are really good and useful to get familiar with the computer-based format. Although it's quite similar to paper-based, in fact the content is completely same, but you should definitely practice it at least once so you would be more comfortable and confident, because you get to see exactly how the questions appear and how you're supposed to answer them, and how the audio works, or maybe the timing, all of that, This actually makes a huge difference. You should definitely practice it. I personally use the mock test website which I mentioned earlier, but to get familiar with the computer-based format, I actually practiced all of the tests available on both British Council and the IDP's website. And that really helped me a lot. I was actually more confident and comfortable with computer-based format as well. So yes, please practice whenever you can, because it actually makes testing feel so much easier. Also, if you're still deciding between computer-based and paper-based, then go for a video. I'll put the link in the description box. I have made a very detailed video on which format you should go for, especially when it's related to academic. And one more thing, that always time yourself, so you basically get used to the real test pressure, And number 2, always analyze and target your weaknesses. Oh, well, this one is super important. As I mentioned earlier, once you do a practice test, don't just move on. Analyze it. You should basically try to identify which section are you losing marks in. Is it the MCQs, maps, or sentence completion? So as I mentioned earlier that it was map section for me, so I started working on that rather than moving on. I watched one really good map video. It was in Urdu, by the way, and that cleared everything up. I'll put the link in the description box for that too. And after watching that video, I kind of understood like how you need to approach maps. So after that, I started practicing map section specifically for a couple of days. And once I felt like I'm improving in this section and basically feeling confident, then I started normal practicing again. Basically, the whole point is that don't just randomly do test after test without improving a skill, because this way you are just totally wasting your time. It won't help you on the test day. Tip number 3, use YouTube the right way. Guys, YouTube is a gold mine. I cannot emphasize on it enough. If you use it correctly, it's the best thing out there. Now, this does not mean that you watch 50 or 100 videos and, just waste your time. So it's important to invest your time in the right thing, right video, in fact. So there are 2 YouTube channels that really helped me out with my IELTS journey, and those are IELTS Advantage and the other one is Fast Track IELTS. You can check them out. These are amazing resources. So there's Asad Yaqub's channel, which you can go for. He's actually doing a great job. Well, personally, I did not watch a lot of videos, but sometimes when I struggle with a specific section, then I used to check out on YouTube. Like, I like to know what kind of approach they are using to solve a particular section. But again, please don't binge, because that won't help you out. You better practice more rather than watching videos. So the next is build your ears with English content. Well, this is very important, and this is something I have done naturally over the years, and it'll help me out so much with the IELTS listening section. Basically, it also helps you to get used to different accents like British, American, or Australian, which you usually encounter on your IELTS listening module. So if you're not already doing this, then start ASAP. Just choose any show you like and watch it without subtitles, or maybe English subtitles at first if you're not comfortable watching without subtitles. Also, if you do not like movies or dramas, then you can go for podcasts. That can actually help you a lot as well if you prefer audio only, So try searching for IELTS related podcast or maybe English conversation podcast. There are tons of available online, so please check them out. Lastly, scan the questions quickly before the audio begins. This is very important. This will not only help you in practices but also on the real exam day. Basically, there are 4 sections in IELTS listening module, and you get about 30 seconds before each audio begins, like for each section. And there are about 10 questions in each section. Although 30 seconds is quite short, but it is enough to spot keywords, and that can actually help you out a lot. So always try to scan the questions before the audio begins. And in the computer-based test, you type your answer as you go, and you get an extra 2 minutes at the end to review it. Although you won't remember the audio at that time, but you can actually fix your typos and maybe ensure that you're not missing any answer. And one last thing before we wrap up, IELTS listening isn't about multitasking. So when you are taking the test, you have got to stay fully focused. Like, in most of the cases, even if you miss one sentence, you could actually lose an entire answer. And if you miss a question, do not sit and cry over it. Just move on immediately. You don't want to miss the next answer. And when you practice, try to simulate the test environment. Put your phone on silent, sit up straight, use headphones, and basically treat it like your final attempt. Alright, that's all from me today. I really hope this helps you feel more confident about the listening section. And if you found any of these tips useful, do me a quick favor, like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment about which section you struggle with the most. Maybe I'll make a separate video just on that. Remember, all useful links are in the description box, including the mock test I used and the map video that saved my life. Thanks for watching, and best of luck on your IELTS journey.